Hello friends, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. Today, February 14, 2010, we begin with the update from Burkina Faso, and through allafrica.com and Amnesty International, we gather that Burkina Faso has expressed its commitment to women's health. It was on the occasion of the visit of Amnesty International delegation led by its Interim Secretary General, Claudio Cordon, to the President of Burkina Faso, Blaise Compaoré, that the President committed to lifting the barriers related to women receiving adequate health care during pregnancy and childbirth. On their part, Amnesty International pledged to work with both civil society as well as the government to achieve this goal. Burkina Faso has been quite busy mediating in Guinea, working real hard about Côte d'Ivoire, and now focused on women's health. Very good. From time to time, things happen in parts of Africa that defies simple explanation. And friends, one of those times is playing out at the moment. And that leads us to Côte d'Ivoire, from where we bring you the update through the Nigerian Guardian that the Ivorian President, Laurent Gbagbo, has indefinitely suspended the registration of voters for the would-have-been elections in March of this year. That was Friday, 12th. On the same day, the Secretary General of the United Nations issued a statement through the UN News Service expressing concern for the situation and basically expects violent incidents to follow. The Ivorian President, according to Redone.WMV, has dissolved the government and has equally called on the Prime Minister and opposition leader Guillaume Soro to form a new government. Well, February 13th being Saturday, Yahoo News by way of Associated Press has this news that the opposition has said they no longer recognize the authority of Gbagbo as President of Ivory Coast. Things are quickly spinning. Furthermore, according to Reuters, the opposition is calling for massive protests following the decision of the President to dissolve the government. No doubt there will be more to follow. For all those who have been following Nigerian politics, you know by now that the Vice President has been made the acting President. Now we gather through the BBC that the acting President, Goodluck Jonathan, has reassigned the Minister for Justice, Michael Ando-Akar, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, to the Department of Special Duties. That was last week. This week, according to Reuters, the acting president has approved the sharing of $2 billion from oil savings to the 36 states and government agencies. This was published on February 12th, Friday. Folks, government is in action once again in Nigeria. Continuing from the same country, the Nigerian Vanguard ran this story last week that read, U.S. Senate accuses Atiku of $40 million illegal transfer. According to the Vanguard, the United States Senate's report details how the ex-Vice President of Nigeria, through one of his wives, transferred a total of $40 million through various means and accounts to the U.S. between 2000 and 2008. Siemens, the German company, was also named in the report. Another story out of Nigeria today is actually troubling and so graphic. Al Jazeera.net is distributing a video purported to have been recorded in July 2009 during the Boko Haram extremist disturbances in Borno and other surrounding states. During that period, members of the group attacked police stations and officers, declaring their non-acceptance of Western education. That is not what the video shows. The video in question shows a few men ordered to lie down on the street and subsequently shot. Following the disclosure of this video by AlJazeera.net, Amnesty International is now calling on the acting president, Goodluck Jonathan, to probe the incident. Moving right along. Last week, we updated you on the squabbles for interest ownership in the Ghanaian oil fields between Cosmos Energy and Ghana petroleum officials, involving ExxonMobil's intention to acquire Cosmos' interest in the oil blocks. According to Reuters, the Ghanaian officials are still saying they will not approve the deal between Cosmos and ExxonMobil as it stands at the moment. We will keep you updated. Continue on oil. Coming from Reuters, OPEC will be meeting in Vienna on March 17 to discuss world affairs relating to oil as it concerns their members and the rest of the world. In case you didn't know, oil closed at about $75 per barrel on Friday. To Somalia we go. BBC is reporting that a lot of people are fleeing Mogadishu because of continued fighting in that capital city. The United Nations says it is standing by for emergency and humanitarian relief as soon as the security situation permits. From Reuters again, we have this update about the efforts of the United Nations to seek funding to help developing nations control emissions and adapt to the effects of climate change. The responsibility will be led by Ethiopia and Britain. The aim is to raise $100 billion every year by the year 2020 towards the initiative. Folks, did you know that former Zambian President Frederick Chiluba was in 2007 ordered to pay Zambian Treasury $58 million as money he was suspected of stealing during his years as President of Zambia? According to the Nigerian Guardian, the trial was held in London. Well, he came home to Zambia and filed an appeal, and the Zambian Supreme Court dismissed the application, declaring it had no merit. That means the Zambian authorities may proceed with recovering their money from the ex-president however way they legally can. His lawyers have their own spin about the whole thing. There is still a lot of bright spots regarding Africa, and one of those was celebrated last week, and it was the marking of the 20th year anniversary of the release of Nelson Mandela from prison. The New York Times reports that there were a lot of activities, including the opportunity for the current South African President Jacob Zuma to shift attention from recent focus on his personal life. Jacob Zuma promising to turn the South African economy around, but did not address the recent news about his out-of-wedlock baby with another woman, not one of his wives. It is in the issue of 12th of February. Take a look. The coalition government in Zimbabwe is running into all types of roadblocks, such that the opposition is demanding that the President Robert Mugabe schedule early elections. According to the Guardian of UK, the calculation is that with the World Cup coming to South Africa, both Mugabe and the South African countries, in their bid to show peace and harmony in the region, will do things to get the ball rolling again in the unity government. Morgan Shingara, the Prime Minister, heads the opposition. Again, we have come to the end of our update this week. Thank you for your time.